Good evening, YouTube pipe smokers and the YTPC. Southern Piper here. Wanted to do a video on legacy. And it's something that I think about a lot and I kind of talk about a lot. And it's the legacy we leave behind and then the legacy that our parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, great aunts, uncles leave for us. And I decided to do a video on it because I was watching, so a few weeks ago I found 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. And he does some really good content. But one of the videos I watched, he was talking about the memory he has of, and I believe it was his granddad. I could be wrong, it may have been his dad. But the memory he had of, you know, the older gentleman smoking a pipe and the smell of the room node and sitting in his lap. And it got me to thinking about the people in my life that I have fond memories of. Especially my granddad, who departed us back in February of '09. And it got me to thinking about, and I mentioned before, I had a great uncle that was a pipe smoker. It got me to thinking about comments that my mom has made remembering her uncle. And you can hear the boys, the four-legged boys, chasing each other. I apologize for the background noise. But it got me to thinking, I was at Mom and Dad's several weeks ago, and I was smoking some, I believe I was smoking some bat with a hat, and Mom commented that reminded her of the tobacco that her great uncle used to smoke, Uncle William. And it was gratifying to see the look on Mom's face of those memories. And so I've wanted to do a video on legacy. So I don't remember, well, take that back. I do have memories of Uncle William and going to their house, and he had his chair that he sat in, and, you know, it was very much the, you know, something, you know, from the late 50s. You know, that you can see your granddad sitting in, and he had the side table beside him with a pipe rack or pipe stand with a few pipes, and I'm sure there were matches and lighters sitting there as well. But those are the memories I have. and I can remember what the empty pipe smelled like. Of course, it's not hard to remember that when you're a pipe smoker yourself. But so those are a few memories I have of Uncle William. I wanted to talk a little bit more about my granddad. Before I do that, though, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Since I'm talking about legacy and some gentlemen from the Greatest Generation, I decided I would smoke a Codger blend. So I've got some half and half here. And I'm smoking in one of my Camoys. This is an estate pipe that I have that I picked up off of eBay. And it was, actually this is one that I wouldn't say I really restored it. I mean, it could still use some work, but I refurbished it a little bit. Gave it a little bit of a facelift. So I thought I'd use an old pipe, old tobacco, and I've even gone so far, I'm drinking a PBR. So we're channeling the 50s and 60s as much as we can here. So I'll start off, the picture that I'm using for the video is the flag that my granddad got when he left the Navy. And that would have been in about 1944. 44, 45. And my granddad would fly that on every flag flying occasion. It's not an all-weather flag, so he would only fly it on days in which you fly the flag. So Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Flag Day, Labor Day, etc. If the weather was cooperating. 4th of July. And he would put it out first thing in the morning. He would take it down when it got dark because he didn't have a way to light it at the time. And that is one of my most prized possessions. I absolutely love that flag. And if you'll notice, it only has 48 stars on it because when he received it, there were only 48 states in the Union. And so I love that flag, and I'm proud of the heritage of that flag. The next item that I want to talk about, and this is going to be heavily focused on my granddad. I have one of his dog tags that he received when he was in the Navy. And I have his watch. And I remember him wearing this watch my entire childhood. He wore this watch. And so those are a couple of special items that I have that belong to my granddad, particularly the watch and the flag, because I remember him wearing the watch, and I remember him flying the flag, and I remember exactly where he kept the flag. And I can remember being a kid, and I would open the closet door where he kept it, and I would look at it. And I don't really know why I did that, other than it was my granddad's flag. And I just wanted to see it and touch it. So a couple other items I have of his. I have his Navy cap from when he served. And it even has his last name and initials. Printed on the inside. And lastly, and I'm gonna wear this for the remainder of the video. I'm gonna say toward the end of his life, he wore this more. I don't know exactly how long, but he wore this hat. Gosh, at least the last decade, maybe 15 years of his life. Obviously it's a winter hat, but he would wear it in the cold weather as he got older, and so I have fond memories of him wearing this hat. And so those are a few things, the possessions that my granddad left for me, but his legacy goes beyond that. His legacy has filtered down. My sister and my sister's a school teacher, so really my granddad as well as my grandmother, their legacies live on in us. The way they had a part in raising us, whatever influenced us to get into the fields we're in, the values that they helped teach us, that's how their legacy lives on today. And I mentioned my sister's a school teacher. She, is teaching tomorrow's leaders. And, she's been a teacher long enough now where, her students are grown. Some of her first students are grown and have their own families and have their own careers now. I work in healthcare. So the provision of healthcare is provided, that's kind of rhetorical, through what I do. And so that's how our legacies live on. And, it's the legacies we'll leave. It's interesting because I see how, the hobbies I have, pipe smoking, cigar smoking, my kids will comment to me. And of course, you guys know how old my kids are. I've got 2 teenagers and a 20-year-old. They'll make comments about, the type of cigar that I'm having, or, a particular pipe that I may be smoking, or tobacco. And and I don't think I've ever shared a picture of it, but a year ago, I shared my son's first cigar with him. And I think I've mentioned I've been aging cigars for my kids since they were babies. And so pretty soon my middle son will be coming of age, and I'll be sharing a cigar with him. And as they continue to grow, I'll share, and of course I'm sure I know they drink already, so I'm not naive. But I will share a beer with them. And so those are the special things and the memories and the legacy that I'll be leaving, and the memories I'm creating for them. And so it's just really special, and it's something that I hold dear to my heart. The relationships I had with, the generations before me, and the generations that the relationships I'm generating with my kids, and then, hopefully one day grandkids. And so think about the legacy of your grandparents, great aunts and great uncles, and think about what legacy you're leaving. One of the things that I keep telling myself to do and that I need to is I want to start journaling. I've started and stopped so many times. It's painful, but it's the little things, whether it be some things I did not pull out for this video, but I have handwritten notes from my grandparents. I have on my dad's side, I have a receipt of an item that his mom bought in the 50s, and those things, it allows us to touch and be a part of their life so many years ago, and I just cherish that tremendously, and that's why I wanted to do this video. Well, I just refilled that lighter before this video. I don't know if you saw the flame come into my hand, but so what legacy are you leaving? Consider that, and make those moments special. I've thought about it a lot more over the past few years since as the boys have continued to grow and become young men, and the time with them is even more valuable, because my influence on them, it will wane ever so slightly as they continue to grow and mature into their own men that they'll be, and so the time I have with them, I just absolutely cherish, and I try to make it be very very meaningful. So that's really all about all I have tonight. Until next time, I bid you all happy smoking and blessings to you and your family.